Don't lean backwards.
Don't lean backwards.
But don't lean forwards. I've got to do better than Graham Simpson.
Are you quite sporty?
I in the past used to be a bit more active, and then I buggered my knee.
But surfing.
Surfing, and that
So
was
you
a couple
can
of.
surf.
Well, I can't stand up.
So how are you feeling about this?
Look, I am a little nervous.
Yeah, that's
and I
normal.
might be a bit sweary, and also I have a thing if I start building up speed of then crashing into people. So
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm looking forward to
You
it.
just crash into the wall.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. I'm going to just take you through a little bit about the stance, how to stand before we go on.
Yes.
And then I think we'll go on. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
Bring that leg in. You might find you're moving forward even when you don't expect to.
Table. How fast are we going to go the second time? Okay.
I don't want to jinx it, but I've got a good feeling. You're getting to the Graham point now.
So it's the first milestone. So, table.
Table. No, expressive hands is good. Ultimately, we're aiming for this.
So my legs are starting to get
It's
used
quite
to it.
sore at first, but
They're getting sort of more used to the sensation.
yeah. And you might find if you try a tiny glide, which is just where you put your feet together and that's a glide, excellent. So I first encountered your books because of the really yummy, delicious covers
Yes.
for the Nancys, and Nancy Business. And I was super lucky because I commented on the covers and Alan and Unwin sent me 2 free copies of your book.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
were they delightful to work?
Yeah, I love the editors and the marketing people, and you know, it's like when you have these professionals who are invested in something that you've created. Like it's incredible. It's an amazing.
How did you get it under their noses? Because were you your debut novel, isn't
Yes.
it? But you've written a short story or two. And
Table.
debut.
So I.
This is fantastic. The gliding is great. Your only danger now is overconfidence.
Oh no. So I just I don't want to jinx it. So I had always written for myself.
Right.
And never shared it. And I'd done some online courses, and then in 2016 I did Faber Academy, writing first draft of a novel. So, at the time I had Tony Jordan and Paddy O'Reilly as my tutors, which was incredible. Yeah, that was my first foray into sharing my work, and so the Nancys was a story I had and that I'd started working on about a decade before. I did Faber, did a few script writing courses, and had written 2 just for me drafts of film scripts, and that was just to learn story. And then for my third one, so first one was a fantasy, maybe it was a romantasy now. But anyway.
Will it go anywhere now? Or is it?
Oh, I don't know. It was a love story between a Viking and a knight set in this sort of mythical land.
Between a Viking and a knight.
No, Viking. Viking.
Oh, Viking and a knight.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might be a time travel one as well.
Oh. Well, yeah, I've got a time travel one. The third one, I wanted to try writing a murder mystery because I'd always loved them, and I'd loved also those sort of campy television shows growing up, like Heart to Heart, or
Heart to Heart.
Yeah, with amateur detectives, and so with amateur detectives who are just sort of kind of almost in their own world. You know, they're all about the case, but also the locals are just thinking, what the hell's going on? And that's sort of where the Nancy's came from. And then I became a dad and had, so I'm dad to two wonderful people.
And the key narrator of the Nancy's is an 11-year-old girl
Yes.
who is so innocent and lovely. I love the character.
Yeah.
Did that character change? Was she always an 11-year-old girl, or did that change?
So very early on, I had that child voice come through, and so
Yes.
it was about trying to work out who she was. And so I did investigate, is she a boy, is she a girl? And it just kept going through that she was a girl. And then it was like, well, what adults are allowing her to investigate a murder?
Yes.
And I felt like adults were involved because it wasn't something she was doing on her own. So it was that thing which I love about story, which is when you start asking questions and why, and you're discovering.
They'd have to be unusual people. They couldn't
Yes,
be
so it's like, okay.
conservative.
Yeah, so it's not her parents.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so it's irresponsible babysitters
Yes.
because her parents can't know that this is happening. And and then that's where her uncle came, and then, okay, he's got this new relationship going on. He's from that town, and so it sort of was organic like that. And then,
And he's a bit of an outsider too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then with life happening, they were still in my head.
Yeah.
And so I guess the characters were still forming, and I would write little sort of, little scenes and things like that, but I had no idea how to write a novel.
But were the characters starting to talk to you?
Yes. I guess Devon and Pike were the noisiest, which is probably not a surprise. Table.
I have to ask because it's very funny, but there's so much innuendo in the book that's going straight over Tippy Chan's head.
Yes. So that was part of to help the reader with the believability that this situation could happen, right? Where these well-meaning adults could actually help a child investigate a murder.
Yes. But they're not following all the rules.
Yes, exactly. So that was part of it.
Done.
So they're not used to being around kids, so they don't kind of get that. Also, there's that I think the beautiful thing where they're actually trying to help her process her grief. So they almost like what you're doing, talking to me, so I forget about ice skating. And so that's why there was the innuendo and the swearing and just that kind of thing. It was just because they are those adults who are at children's birthday parties who say something outrageous, and you're just thinking, and just to be clear, that wasn't me.
No.
But
were the characters you've met perhaps?
Oh yeah, and I think we've all been.
Yeah.
We've all met and know those people.
I think it taps really well, which the insecurities of all the characters.
Yeah.
The insecurities in the relationship.
Yes.
The defensive, the walls that people put up.
Yeah, that legacy of shame. Yeah.
Yes. It was really good. It was really good and scary too. And
and that took a while to be in dangerous situations. For a long time, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to put the children in danger.
No.
Or the characters you love.
Yeah, and I still have a problem with that in early drafts, particularly with my main character. Not really want to throw them in there, but as soon as you do, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, it is.
You find these other sides to them, or something unexpected comes out of it.
So then you did this picture book, and you've got another one coming up.
So I actually, in my early 20s, started writing, as part of this writing for myself, started playing with writing picture books.
Yes.
Because I love that 500 word, that they are going to talk to illustrations. But also what I love the most about them is you're entering this space of hope and unbridled imagination. And, I love picture books. I just think they're magic. I had a few different sort of really bad manuscripts in the drawer. And then I did some courses, and it wasn't until, 2 years ago that I finally thought, why don't I actually spend a bit of time, really polish these from what I've learnt, writing the 2 novels, and then pitch them. And that's what I did. And so now I'm on this sort of new
You're
branch.
on 2 circuits. You're with
Yeah.
the adults and the kids.
And that's kind of what I want to sort of grow, keep. I've got plenty more stories I want to write in the crime fiction space. They're a bit bonkers, of course, but that's trying to have fun, and as you know, like it's trying to make sure that you're having those layers in there that aren't hitting your reader over the head, but for those readers who want them, they're there.
Rob is now in the middle of the rink, pretty much, where all the figure skaters are.
What's a lemon?
It gets your ankles going, so they're this, lemon shape.
I don't know if I can get my feet together.
Yeah. And then you bend into your knees, but keep your hands on the table. Push out and immediately start pulling your toes in again. And with this, you can actually just move forward without... Whoop. So back to the picture book. Have you got another one coming up?
Yeah, I've got another one coming up with Larrikin House again, which
That's good.
really excited about, called Rainbow Street.
Okay, so possibly an LGBTQI thing.
Well, I mean, look, I think all of us would love to have a book banned in Florida once in our lives.
Yeah. So I've never written a picture book and had someone else illustrate it.
Oh, okay.
Which
yeah.
I would love to happen. So you've done it with Larrikin House.
Yes.
Did you get to see the illustrations regularly?
I was
They're
really,
fab.
really,
The characters
really.
are so cute.
I was really lucky to have a vote, and so the one I voted for, we got.
Yeah.
And so that's Alexandra Colombo. I just loved her animals and that sort of magical realism that she was doing. Mary at Larrikin picked the photos of the animals and then asked me, is this what you were thinking? And she was spot on, like they were the exact animals. The only one I sort of had to describe was the clothes horse. I sent photos and I was like, Farrah Fawcett's appearance on the 1970s Sonny and Cher show and this beautiful brown horse.
With the flick and everything.
Yeah, yes, that's why its mane's like that. And if you see the photo of Farrah, she's got the boa and the same dress. I sort of had an idea of maybe what they were going to be wearing or that, but I couldn't really picture it. And also I kind of, not that I didn't want to, but I really wanted to see what someone else would bring to it, because I'd heard so much beforehand from other picture book writers around that experience, and it's just amazing. Like, yeah, it just becomes this other thing.
This is my insight as an illustrator, that if I'm working with someone who's quite new, I'm a lot braver and a lot more involved in interpreting their words. But if it's someone quite well known, I find myself calling a publisher and going, oh, what did so-and-so mean by this, do you think? Because I'm a little bit intimidated.
So I am putting in, a lot of illustration notes, but only, I'm super happy if they just want to ignore those, but just in that first instance, because I don't want to be I want it to be a collaboration. I want them to bring something completely new to it. I don't want to micromanage that, and that's not my job either as the writer. It's the publisher and the illustrator to do that.
Yeah. And how do you visualize the book when you're writing it? Do you have favorite picture books around you, or are you looking out the window?
So I read it out loud a lot, and I want to hear the rhythm. I always have to pare back my language. So I guess when I'm starting, I've got all the visuals in there, and then it's like moving them out.
Yeah.
And that's probably why also I write a lot of illustration notes, because I don't want to lose what I've written.
I have to tell you that sometimes publishers don't pass those notes on to the illustrator.
Oh, and I don't blame them. And I guess when it comes to ideas, it's either an image or a phrase or a sentence or a character name or something like that that sort of is the thing that I start to think about. I've written one rhyming picture book. Like, hats off to people who do that all the time.
Yes.
Like, it's so
It takes a long time. The children's writers and the mystery writers and the novel writers, who's the most fun group?
I feel so grateful to be...
Is this a diplomatic answer?
No, I was thinking about it. I'm so grateful because crime writers are fucking awesome and so much fun and just great people. And now I'm getting to spend more time with the children's writers, and they're a lot of fun as well. There's actually kind of a, quite an interesting parallel, like quite similar in terms of just lovely, good, fun people. And
maybe it's literary fiction writers that are difficult, or maybe they never come out.
I thought it was the poets.
The poets.
Yeah, I know some absolutely lovely poets, but I've heard as a collective that, there's some...
Well, that might be a bit like, you know how bonobos are really nice and gorillas are chimpanzees are really mean? It's all to do with habitat and availability of food. So, there's not a lot of work for poets.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But there's a lot for crime workers and kids' book writers.
Yeah, true.
I might turn that into a theory.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so they have to compete for publication.
Yes. Yeah, and it's been a shrinking habitat.
Yes, a shrinking habitat with not a lot of sustenance.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe if the kids' book world diminishes, we'll see who the nice guys really are.
Or you could write a kids' book where it's a chimpanzee poet.
So, Rob,
Yes.
R.W.R, how was that for you?
I think I'm going to be very sore tomorrow, but it was good. It was really good.
You did so well.
Well, you're very, very patient. I felt a bit like a Bambi on ice, but it was good. No, I enjoyed it actually.
And I think you were the first writer to go backwards on skates and definitely did better.
Not that we're keeping score.
No, we're not. But definitely better than Graham Simpson.
That was my bar, Graham, so thank you for giving me that milestone.
Right, I've got a new segment that I would like to introduce, I think. Maybe we'll call it Dob in a Writer Friend.
Ooh.
So, Rob, who would you like to see on Writers on Ice?
Adrian Beck.
Yes, Adrian.
The challenge is there.
Okay, we'll see him on. Thank you so much for joining us today on Writers on Ice. It was
Thank
so much
you
fun.
for
And we'll get you to sign some books, which we'll do as giveaways.
Yep.
It was awesome. Thanks so much, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you both.